If you at all feel like your video game hobby has become increasingly more expensive over the years, I'm here to tell you that you are completely imagining that, at least according to most industry sources who say the price of AAA games will go up in the next generation because they feel like the price of game production has dramatically increased while game price has remained stagnant. Now that is a half-truth. What's true about it is I believe that the price of games hasn't gone up since the PS3 360 era. That's when it went from $49.99 to $59.99. Meanwhile, other areas of media like movies, production costs have increased, but the price of actually obtaining this media has increased as well. So they feel like there's more of a push and pull. But they feel like the price of game production has been very volatile, which is also true. Shawn Layden, former head of PlayStation Worldwide Studios, appeared on Game Labs to talk about this phenomenon, and he talks about how he remembers when game productions would have a budget of $1 million, and they would kind of be relative to the retail price of said game. But now with games becoming increasingly long, with ever-growing game production costs, an example of that would be The Last of Us 2, which takes 25 real-world hours to complete, with an undisclosed budget, but you want to note that it took them 6 years to make that game, as opposed to about 3 years for the game that came before it. So you know that the price to make something as wonderful as that game is, and by the way, I do think The Last of Us 2 is good, please don't kill me, but to make a game like that, it probably has to cost a lot. But the actual price, the retail price of games has remained at $59.99 for years now. And they feel like this is completely unsustainable if they want to continue to produce games as vast and at the rate that they are. The price has to go up in order to supplement that. And in theory, that sounds good, but what he and many industry people are completely ignoring, probably on purpose, is the impact of microtransactions, which has not only completely bolstered the bottom line of the game industry, it has made things completely more expensive for the gamer while withholding a lot of the game's content behind these paywalls. The best example of that would be the NBA 2K series, which has announced that their next game will have a $10 retail price hike, but that game has historically been pay to win for years. I would know because I used to be an avid fan, and I got out of it just because I was not shilling out hundreds if not thousands of dollars a year to just get the most out of that one game on top of the retail price. That game is very pay to win. Their rationale is that it costs a lot to make the game, we're adding more to it, we're expanding it, even though each game feels the same, but that's beside the point. We're adding more to it, we're expanding it, and so we feel like this price hike is justified. But it's not when your game is pay to win. Whatever revenue you feel like you lost within that $10 range, I'm sure you made it back tenfold with people buying VC and purchasing upgrades and cosmetics for their player, etc. It's just very disingenuous and money hungry, and that mindset has really been rampant in the game industry recently. So if you feel like your video game hobby is increasingly more expensive, you're probably not imagining it, and it's probably about to get worse. So, sounds about that. See you guys later.